What's good, YouTube? Slender Revolution X here. Guys, can we just take a minute and look that I actually am putting up a video? I know, it's been a long time. Actually 6 months since my last video. And I'm a little disappointed in myself for that, I'm not going to lie to you guys, because there are my loyal subscribers out there that do follow, pretty much every video that I've put up since 2 years ago, which is actually when we started. So it's actually pretty impressive that we've come this far. I just want to say thank you guys for that. So essentially, I wrote a blog about what I've done since then. I had a lot of stuff going on in my life, a lot of changes that I was going through. The reason that I didn't put up videos, like I have a new apartment, as you guys can see. I'm in a new recording spot. This is our new place. I got 2 jobs, but I don't want to go into that. If you guys really have any interest in that, I did write a blog about it, so I'll put that link in the description below. And if you guys are interested, you can go ahead and read about it yourselves. But I don't want to bore anybody else or take any more time explaining that when I'm here to do Yu-Gi-Oh! Related videos. So without further ado, I'm going to get into what I really want to see from the game and what it was like being away from it for so long. So essentially, it's been 6 months. Like I said, June was the last time I did anything, the ARG in Philadelphia. It was pretty interesting, especially since nowadays things have changed so much. So back then, I don't think Pendulums had even come out yet. They were just about to come out. And it was pretty interesting how much the game has changed, because I took a lot of time doing a lot of research in the past couple of weeks trying to get back into the game. And I think to do that, you need to go through that research, especially right now. Like, I couldn't have taken a worse time to not be playing competitively, because, things have changed so much with the introduction of Pendulums, and I think 2 packs have been released since I last did it. A couple of YCS is a new format. I missed a whole format. It's a lot to take in such a short amount of time when I'm trying to get back into it. So what I did was I just watched a lot of videos, read a lot of articles to get myself caught up on the game. And what I'm really upset with is the power creep in this game. There is so much that happens in 6 months and how fast this game is progressing. When I was playing, we were looking at Sylvan's Artifacts and Lightsworns are just like with the front tier, the top tier, tier 0, whatever you want to call it. They were the number one deck, the number one decks, I should say. And it's tough coming back in to see that they have literally no relevance anymore. Now you're looking at Cleaveports, Burning Abyss, and Shaddolls are pretty much running the front runners for the top decks of the format right now. And I know that we're going into a new format, but things really aren't going to change, I don't think. I mean, none of those 3 decks lost anything. If anything, they all just gained a Snatch Steal. Other than that, not a lot has changed. So it's crazy. I would like to see it slow down just a little bit, man. I would like to see things have a chance in separate formats. So if you're going to do 3-month formats, I don't think that they should release packs every 3 to 4 months. Slow down on that. It's a really interesting game, and this game has a lot that it can give to people if you give it a chance, But it's hard when, like in my instance, when you could go from being competitive with one deck and then be gone for a couple months and come back and it be completely irrelevant. Every card in that deck has lost crazy value, and if you're going to do it that way, make the formats actually do some change. Actually have the formats change something in the game. Like right now, you're looking at the January 1st format. Like I said, everything's pretty much just gaining a Snatch Steal. There's not a lot of change going on other than that. So the top tier decks are going to essentially stay the same until you give them another pack, which is coming out with more support for Burning Abyss and things like that. So the top 3 decks aren't going to change. I would like to see a format that has actual change. Limit Dante, limit Torghast again, limit the Cleaport Scouts, things like that, that will actually hinder those decks and allow other decks to creep up on them and do significantly well. Because if you're not essentially playing those right now, you're not going to get a top. You're not going to get your invite. It's going to be really hard for you to struggle, even with decks that were decent back then. Like if you were running Hand Artifact Traptrix, I understand Sanctum is at 1 now. But if you were trying to run that and be competitive with it, 6 months ago, you'd have been fine. But nowadays, you'd be lucky to get a regional top in a year, So I would like to see a little bit of change in the game to make it more effective for players who, aren't always 100% in, and they could still have a chance to do well. If you're a smart player, a good player for years and years and years, but you just took a couple months off and it's hard to afford some of these extra decks and cards and decks and things, it'd be nice to see you to be able to compete a little bit because you have that knowledge of the game. You are a good player. You don't have the greatest deck, but you're a good player, and you can kind of make up for the lack in deck ability with your player ability. So it's just a few things I would like to see in the game as my, reintroductory video to my channel and getting back into things in a smoother flow because my life is starting to settle down a little bit, which is nice. So if you guys like the video, give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. If you have anything further to say on what I was iterating on or things like that, just put it in the comment section below. I love to hear from you guys. And as always, guys, remember to subscribe to join the revolution today. This is Slen Revolution X signing out, and I will see you guys next time. Take it easy.